Hello, my name is Larry Arnn. I'm the president of Hillsdale College. Hillsdale, you know, is a very old college. It's almost 170 years old. It was founded out on the frontier to provide an elite education to support what it called the inestimable blessings of civil and religious freedom, that is, the principles of this country, the United States of America. We've always taught the Constitution here. We're doing it now. The activity of doing this has always radiated, as good colleges always do, and they reach lots of people outside their classrooms. We do that on a very big scale, but we're about to do it on the biggest scale ever. Over the next 3 years, we're going to reach 50 million Americans. They're going to know something about the principles and terms and meaning of their country and of its Constitution of the United States, the greatest thing like it ever written. We're going to show you in this video how we're going to accomplish this. Please watch.
America began with a national conversation about liberty. Americans read, discussed, and debated. They elected representatives to express their views to the British government. And when they wouldn't listen, Americans had a national conversation about what to do next. Fight for their independence. After a victory that many called a miracle, America's conversation resumed at a convention in Philadelphia and produced another miracle: the Constitution as the supreme law of the land, making the people sovereign, governed by their own consent, creating a nation with more freedom, opportunity, and prosperity than any the world has ever seen.
This is a very special place to live and to grow up. It is a privilege to call myself an American.
I mean, look at this country. In less than 200 years, we have outrun countries, civilizations, populations that have been on the planet for thousands of years. The Constitution was, I believe, the way it all came together in Philadelphia. You talk about a miracle.
There was a lot of disagreement in 1787 among some very, very bright people. And yet they were able to, coming out of their experience, create a document with a fundamental belief system.
They all had the same goal in mind. How do we set up a government that nurtures individual liberty, that promotes private property rights, that protects the individual?
Limited government is what the Constitution is about. Limited government is what our founding fathers put forth as a response to the Declaration of Independence.
It's the best thing of its kind ever written by a lot. It's lasted longer. It has laid the conditions for us to expand a free government across a great continent. Nothing like it ever happened before.
But early in the 20th century, the principles of America's founders were challenged by those calling themselves progressives. Progressives launched their own national conversation, saying it was time to evolve beyond the American founding, to throw off the limits to government power of our outdated Constitution. Progressives redefined rights as granted by government, not by God. They took over key national institutions, especially education, media, and government. Today, progressives, or liberals, openly express their contempt for the Constitution, even those who swear an oath to uphold it.
Our government has strayed so far from the Constitution that you can't even see it from here. It's a subject that never comes up. Speaker Nancy Pelosi was asked whether Obamacare was constitutional. She laughed, like that wasn't even a consideration.
Madam Speaker, where specifically does the Constitution grant Congress the authority to enact an individual health insurance mandate?
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Yes, I am.
Just look at our healthcare lawsuit. We've got 29 states lined up in favor of the Constitution. And what are we doing there? We're protecting the federal Constitution from the federal government.
It's a machine, and it's very large and very powerful, and it has interests of its own, and it represents those in politics. And the serious thing about it, the most serious single thing about it is, It's not constitutional in the sense that it's not traceable back to the sovereign people of the United States.
The results of ignoring the Constitution have become more obvious and alarming. Our children are buried under trillions in national debt, growing $3 million a minute. Unelected bureaucrats issue thousands of regulations burdening every business, home, and citizen, while government creates more agencies, bureaucrats, and rules. No wonder that in a recent poll, less than 1 in 5 Americans believes that they are governed by their own consent. But despite all this, the people have not been silenced. They have reignited the national conversation about constitutional government. Once again, citizens meet in homes, town halls, and Tea Party groups. But today, with talk radio, cable TV, and the internet, they can bring millions more into the conversation. And a national leader has emerged to direct the conversation: Hillsdale College. Hillsdale was founded in 1844, dedicated to preserving the blessings of liberty. It was America's first college to prohibit by charter discrimination based on race, religion, or sex. But its modern rise to national prominence came in the 1970s, when the federal government demanded Hillsdale submit to unconstitutional regulations and also count its students by race. Hillsdale refused, declaring with the help of God it would resist any encroachments on its independence. Hillsdale's commitment to its founding principles has long attracted giants of freedom to speak at the Midwestern campus, building its national reputation and influence. Starting in 1972, those speeches were reprinted in a new publication, Imprimis. Today, nearly 2.5 million Americans subscribe. In 2010, Hillsdale established the Alan P. Kirby Jr. Center for Constitutional Studies and Citizenship. Hillsdale students, faculty, and guests continue the conversation about the Constitution with members of Congress and their staffs. Also in 2010, Hillsdale held its first nationwide town hall webcast. Then, in the fall of 2011, Hillsdale launched its first online seminar on the Constitution, followed by a 10-week course, Constitution 101. Demand was overwhelming, with 400,000 registrants between the two. Clearly, Americans are eager to join the national conversation on the Constitution and have Hillsdale lead it. And that's just what Hillsdale is going to do next, with the largest educational outreach in history.
The conversation is urgent now because we're in a time when we're going to make a choice, one way or the other, right? The old thing, the old way of governing the United States of America is about to be discarded. The history of the country is a rich and wonderful subject. You need to know it. So just come to find out that here at this little college for a very long time now, that's what we do.
What Hillsdale offers that America needs most right now is that we're producing students who have a full sense of where their ideas come from, what their beliefs are, founded in Judeo-Christian values, and can articulate them well.
There is plenty of outreach that the college does to the country as a whole, and through their national leadership seminars across the country and other speeches and lectures that they put on, they are able to impact more than just the student body.
It's just heartening to see that all these people want to learn what the college is willing to teach, because it's not easy stuff. It's difficult. They're big ideas.
Education is a huge force for social change. And of course, all the Hillsdale grads that have been going out, spreading ideas about liberty, defending liberty, pursuing truth, as our motto says.
I think Hillsdale has a huge impact on America because we're doing something that most of America isn't.
I think America really needs a conversation about the Constitution right now because it's being taught in less and less places.
I think just even beginning that conversation would be a huge step towards regaining a lot of that liberty we lost.
Who doesn't want to know that they are from a wonderful country that's based in principles that are true and good? That appeals to the human spirit. And so I think that if the college does work hard enough, it would be possible to bring it to 50 million people.
The national conversation on the Constitution is the largest educational outreach in Hillsdale history. It means an ambitious 3-year, 3-part plan to achieve this historic goal. The first part of that plan is Hillsdale's new Constitution Minute. Hillsdale will tap the massive audiences of talk radio with brief, powerful messages broadcast to the nation. Millions of listeners can be better equipped to understand the Constitution and how to restore liberty. The second part takes participants to a deeper level of study. More courses are planned for a public eager to learn the true foundations of America's greatness. And finally, for those who want to go deeper still into America's founding, the new Hillsdale Online Constitution Reader. This website is a constitutional treasury of original source materials from the founding to the present day, for equipping those eager to take an active role in restoring liberty to America. These three parts make up Hillsdale's National Conversation on the Constitution, with a virtual classroom of 50 million Americans.
We're talking about 50 million people now getting that education. In the case of the Constitution courses, my good friend Dr. Larry Arnn, your president, and other great professors and constitutional scholars.
Everything flows from that. The faculty, the inspiration of the students. I've met many of them around the country, and they are model American citizens.
Hillsdale's cutting edge in many respects. First of all, the curriculum, the way they teach, what they teach. But more than that, Hillsdale is embracing all the new technologies of communication, whether it's online classes, it's talk radio, and other formats. It's absolutely crucial. If anything's going to save the nation, it's going to be that kind of an educational process.
We're fighting over first principles today. It is the battle of our day, and American citizens need to be armed for that battle. Learning about the Constitution and the foundation of this country is the arms for that battle.
Because there are people actively besmirching and impugning the Constitution in our public formal education system.
If people really don't understand, like I said, the fundamental principles and values of this nation, then anyone can come along with a song and dance routine called Hope and Change and take us down the path in which we find ourselves.
We will continue marching in a direction that's not a good one, in the direction of tyranny. It may be tyranny by degrees. It may be tyranny with a smiley face on it. But it is tyranny.
America can fail. Great societies, many have failed. I shudder to think of the world without the United States of America being the leader.
If we don't restore the Constitution, we won't be America anymore. We'll be something else. I mean, we'll still have the name America, we'll still have all the marble buildings in Washington, we'll still have our history, but America will just be another failed republic.
We're not above that, and we're very close to going over the cliff right now. People need to know how close we are to losing everything that we've been handed by generations of Americans who fought and died for our prosperity, for our freedom, for our way of life.
If we don't get this right, then we may not be around for another 236 years. And for me, failure is just not an option.
What gives me the most hope is more people than ever are talking about the Constitution. Thanks in large measure to Hillsdale and talk radio. I can tell you 5-10 years ago this was not going on.
We've got to get people thinking about it, talking about it, voting based on constitutional principles. And if we do that, then I think we have a chance to turn this thing around and make the changes we need in our country on our own terms.
If we're going to have any healing at all, it's going to be because people come together and operate their government the way the Founding Fathers intended it to.
The Constitution spells that out. That's part of our creation, codifies it. It's important to preserve it.
Hillsdale's 170-year respect for that foundation puts it in a good position historically to lead the charge, to reintroduce 50 million Americans to the Constitution and the founding.
I can't think of any other institution to take a lead on this, which is so critical for the future and legacy of this country.
I have absolute faith, and I am very excited about being part of it in promoting constitutional education in this country with Hillsdale leading the way.
When Americans are exposed to the truth, Americans embrace the truth, and they reflect that understanding of the truth in the way they vote. That will transform America. That will save America. That will restore the greatness of our great country.
If Americans stay on that path, I think that shining city on a hill emerges again, and America's best days are ahead.
Hillsdale's budget for its 3-year campaign is $13.8 million. Hillsdale receives no taxpayer-funded government support. Only the generosity of Hillsdale friends will enable the college to reach its goal.
50 million Americans. That's how many we're going to reach in the next 3 years. Think what that means. That means there are that many, we know it, that are eager to learn something about what we have to teach. Now this comes at a very important time. I think myself that twice before the American people have faced a fundamental choice about the meaning of their country and the way it will be governed. I think one of those was in the American Revolution. I think one of those was in the Civil War. I think one of them is now. And I think in all three of those, they have to begin by thinking and learning and knowing, because you can't really fight for a thing or against a thing unless you understand the thing. And so the first step is to study and to learn. That's what we do here. We do that because we love it. We do it well. We're going to do it for a great number of people. I hope you'll help us.